So why is this important? Well, because we may be electing a president, Joe Biden, God forbid, that is in the back pocket of the Chinese. How, Dan? How is that? The Chinese just wanted to do, the Chinese Communists, by the way, the company they were doing a business deal with is alleged to have ties to the Chinese intelligence community and their military. Huh? Now, folks, again, I spent 10 plus years in law enforcement dealing with the intel community in multiple countries across the world. I'm not patting myself on the back. I'm just telling you, if you're a journalist who hasn't, take a seat and put your dunce cap on. I'm not interested in your stupid, uninformed opinion. Thanks. Have a good day. I've done this. What do you think the Chinese, I spent time in China doing in advance. It was very uncomfortable, by the way. I'll tell that story another day. I'm short on time. But I've dealt with the Chinese intelligence community. It's not a pleasant experience. What were the Chinese giving Joe Biden and his family money for and planning to give him more money for in the millions? What? Well, again, I rarely replay a clip, but this is from my interview show. If you haven't seen it yet, you don't know what you're missing. Go to our Rumble account, Apple Pie, whatever. It's on our regular stream. Watch the whole interview. But this part with Rudy was so damning. Again, I had to go back and ask him to repeat it again when he answered the question for me. What the hell were the Chinese communists really paying Joe Biden and his family for? Check this out. Mr. Mayor, you said something there pretty profound. I want to be sure the audience doesn't miss this. Is there a possibility here, just to reiterate this, that this from the start was a Chinese operation to get dirt on the Bidens altogether, knowing that he'd run for, I mean, you said that. I just want to be sure the audience understands. Me having some background in intelligence stuff, that's perfectly possible that this could have been an op from the start. Nothing to do with business and everything to do with dirtying up the Bidens.
Two possibilities. The Chinese are dumb and like to give away billions of dollars.
Right.
Or the Chinese are, among other things, very intelligent. And they know what they're doing. Mm-hmm. And they figure it was a good investment in the vice president since he had a lot of discretion over the islands, the tariffs, and he sold us out like crazy. I mean, it was pathetic. America was sold out completely. If, you lost your job to China somewhere in the mid part of 2015, 16, 17, thank Joe Biden. You lost your job. Biden made $1.5 billion. I mean, it's disgusting. Yeah. Yes, and then I think they figured that's over, but they had to have another hold on this weak man. So they came up with this deal, and the idiot becomes a 10% partner.
I mean, I cannot, if you haven't seen this cut and you're undecided in this election, that video I just played of Rudy Giuliani, regardless of your feelings about the mayor, the president, or anyone else, I'm not telling you who to vote for. I don't have the power to do that. I'm just telling you that what Rudy said there, an experienced federal prosecutor, regardless of your feelings about him, I like the mayor. I support the president. I don't hide and or try to cover up my partisan stripes. I'm a conservative. Even if you're not, just understand this. What Rudy said there is absolutely accurate. The Chinese knew the Biden family was deeply populated with morons, with idiots who were greedy. And this whole deal had nothing to do with business at all. It had everything to do with giving them money so that they'd have that money on record in a file they could blackmail the Biden family with later on. Is this, Joe, I mean, Joe's not an intelligence analyst. He's a great producer. Either is Paula. Is this not obvious to you what the Chinese were doing? I mean, I'm just checking.
It's pretty obvious. Yeah, pretty obvious.
What do you think, the Chinese are morons? No, Biden's a moron. And the Chinese knew that. They're devious. I wouldn't trust the communists as far as I could throw them. And given my current condition, I can't throw them very far. But they're not stupid. I've dealt with them. They are not stupid. They are expert social engineers. Expert. Super smart. Devious. In many ways, evil. The communists, I'm not talking about the people of China. Many of them are pissed off with this stuff too. The communist leadership are evil. As evil as I've ever seen. But my gosh, don't make the mistake of thinking they're stupid. You have catastrophically underestimated our major geopolitical foe. And I know you don't think that. The Biden family did. Because they were too stupid to figure out they were being played. That money And those receipts were going to be used later in a blackmail file. What do you think they were paying for? How stupid do you have to be to not see through this? Folks, I'm not going to tell the whole story because I don't want to waste anybody's time. I'm just saying, I spent time in China doing work with my prior line of work. Can you imagine if I'm over there? I was doing an advance in China for a couple of weeks with Michael Chertoff. I spent a lot of time in Asia, who used to be the DHS secretary. Can you imagine if a story came out? Just say, for example, that, well, a Secret Service agent, who's the site advance for the DHS secretary, we found an email, this was on the cover of the New York Times, showing that Dan Bongino was getting a 10% cut of a Chinese company alleged to be tied to Chinese intelligence and the military while he was involved in a security advance in China. I can tell you with absolute certainty, without a shred of doubt, I would not only be fired instantly from the Secret Service, instantly. There is zero doubt I would be under investigation for the FBI. Zero doubt. And I'm just a lowly Secret Service advance agent overseas. Yet the Vice President of the United States, running for president now, has been bought off by the Chinese in an email we know has been confirmed, the authenticity of the email. And nobody in the media cares. And you're still undecided in this election? But Trump's tweets. Makes a lot of sense. You're very smart. You're just a genius. Trump's tweets bother you, but it doesn't bother you that the potential president of the United States, there's a blackmail file this thick by our major nuclear-powered adversary. You're right. Let's get upset about his tweets. That's perfectly logical. Don't be mean, Dan. You'll turn off undecided. I don't know what to tell you if you're undecided. I really don't know what to tell you. I got to be honest. I'm offended at the fact, intellectually, that you can't figure out what's going on. Or you can and you don't care. But Trump's tweets. I'm offended by really the ignorance involved in that statement. I really am. The Wall Street Journal's figured out by the way, center-right, sometimes even center-left newspaper. Their editorial board's definitely center-left on immigration. Even the Wall Street Journal editorial boards figured out that, hey, we got a real problem here with Biden, who may have a blackmail file as thick as War and Peace over with the Chinese intel services alleged to be connected to this company. We may have a problem. Wall Street Journal. If you haven't read this piece, you're doing yourself a huge disservice, folks. Check it out. It's important. It's by the great Kim Strassel, and I do mean great. He's done yeoman's work in uncovering a bunch of scandals. Headline, the Biden, quote, family legacy. What we learned from the text messages of Hunter Biden's partner, Tony Bobulinski. She brings up, this is a rather long quote. I was going to make it 2, but I want to read this segment from Strassel's piece. Because again, it sums up what I've been telling you. What the hell do you think the Chinese were buying? Are you really this stupid? With their 10% cut for the big guy, Joe Biden. From the Strassel piece, pay close attention to every single word of this. Quote, Kim Strassel. Hunter, in his own angry texts, this is to his business partner here about this deal, makes clear that his contribution to the deal is his name. He rails at Bobulinski that the CEFC, the Chinese company, the CEFC heads are, quote, coming to be, capital letters, my partner to be partner with the Bidens. Wait, what? Hunter reminds Bobulinski, quote, that in this instance, only one player holds the trump card, and that's me. May not be fair, but it's the reality because I'm the only one putting an entire family legacy on the line. Oh, what the hell is going on here? It goes on. Here's another partner to the deal, a guy named Gilliar. Mr. Gilliar privately tells Bobulinski, the other partner to this deal, to show flexibility since, quote, I know why the CFC chairman Ye Jinping wants the deal, and what makes it enormous? It's the family name. Biden. One last part. CEFC, again, the Chinese company, was closely entwined with the Chinese government and military until it went bankrupt. Oh, that's fascinating. Following U.S. charges of money laundering. Oh, they went bankrupt because what? They were associated with the Chinese military and they were money laundering? Oh, that's good. They want to do a deal with Joe Biden. That's really weird. It ends. There is no question CEFC was buying Hunter for influence. I'm undecided. Trump's tweets. Kim Strassel, who is a very sober, common sense, down-to-earth analyst and a terrific writer in the opinion section, has just distilled down the essence of this entire case. Two people involved in this deal, Giuliani and Bobulinski, involved with Hunter Biden. We have their texts. Bobulinski's confirmed the texts and emails are authentic, that they're real. One of the emails indicates the China deal with CEFC, a company connected to Chinese intelligence and the government, according to reporting, that they wanted to pay Biden for the, quote, family name. And nobody cares in the media. Freaking incredible. Incredible. You have a total media blackout. Let me tell you, I said this on Parler this weekend. If Donald Trump wins this election, despite a blackout by the mainstream media, a full frontal assault by Twitter and Facebook, a full frontal assault by YouTube and Google, a full frontal assault by the Hollywood hate machine, academia, and pretty much everyone with any cultural influence in America right now, if he wins this re-election effort, I'm not kidding and not being hyperbolic when I tell you, it will be the single greatest political story ever told.
You just heard Dan Bongino.